What's up, everyone? Watch friends. My name's Tony. Welcome to Talking Timepieces with Tony. Today is the Q&A or Ask the Magic Watch Ball question. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody who sent me well wishes regarding my back. It's still bad. Yesterday, Thursday, was the first day I was able to walk without my cane. So if you happen to see that video of me walking on Instagram where I do the wrist roll thing, it's kind of funny. I'm walking like an old man, you know, like Mr. Burns on The Simpsons. This is still because my back is like I can't stand up straight, so I'm walking like a freaking old man. Anyway, so that was that. Anyway, thank you, everyone. We have the Watch Ball Q&A. It's pretty simple. It's fun. It's lighthearted. It's just a lighthearted way to add some humor into this whole watch shenanigans that's going on, and all the YouTubers that take it way too seriously. How it works is you ask a question for the watch ball, then she answers. She's rude. She's a smart ass. She can be real nice as well. So it just depends on what time of month it is. But then I'll put my 2 cents worth in on the question as well. Or sometimes just the question is just for me. So I'll answer it. So if you want to have a question featured on Friday night's Q&A, all you got to do is comment on the video with a question for the next week's Q&A. So that's how that works. So I do have a lot of questions tonight, so let's go ahead and roll the intro and we'll get right into it. All right. Sometimes it's not. Anyway, sometimes it's not a question. Sometimes it's a statement or just a general comment that I feel that I need to comment on specifically or for my channel here. And so the first one is it's not a question. It's just a comment, and it's basically a comment on my Tudor Black Bay 54 from Ferien7, F-E-R-I-E-N, Ferien7. The first Tudor I like. Great watch. The only hesitation I have is that is basically a Submariner homage. People on the street will think it's a Rolex or even a fake Rolex. Who fucking cares, dude? I mean, why does it matter what someone thinks about your watch? I mean, it's not why you should buy them, I guess. Paco! You know, it's an homage. It's an homage to the Tudor Submariner 54 that came out in 1954. So it's just a modern vintage Black Bay 54 or a modern Tudor Submariner 54. If someone thinks it's fake, that's freaking great. No chance of getting robbed there. If they think it's a Rolex, so what? I don't understand. I don't understand why people are so concerned with what other people think. Why wear a watch because you love it, not because you're trying to impress anyone or what other people think. The majority of anyone is not even going to know what kind of watch you have, nor care. You know what I mean? It's all about who you are and how you wear the watch. Because if you're a total tool bag and you're wearing a Rolex, then you're just going to be a total tool bag. No one cares about it, you know, Rolex. If you're the nicest guy on the planet and you're wearing an old beat-up Timex, people are going to like you because of you, not because of your Timex, and they won't care that you're wearing a Timex. Having said that, I appreciate your comment, dude. Next one comes from Mowsure, M-O-W-S-U-R-E 6680. Question for the Magic Watch Ball and for Tony's 2 cents if the watch ball allows. Where does Tony get rid of his pieces he does not bond with or gets tired of eventually? Where do I get rid of my watches I don't like or don't want? Well, I can answer this 2 ways. I can say, hey, it's none of your business, really. There's plenty of places online. You can go ahead and look and make your own decision where you want to sell your watches to. Or I can say, sometimes he sells to Watchbox, sometimes he sells to Federico, and then he has a couple of friends that sometimes buy, I don't sell the luxury high-end to them. Or they, you know. Anyway, that's what the watch ball says. Yeah, man, you know, I will sometimes, damn, freaking wacko trying to kill himself. I will sometimes, I have a contact over at Watchbox. You know, like I sold my Breitling to Federico from Federico Talks Watches. I don't like doing business with him because he's such a shyster, you know. And I've explained why I've said this before. Well, and I'll just say real quick. For instance, my Breitling, I paid $5,200 for that watch. Retails for $5,500. Retail on a Breitling Top Time Triumph retails $5,500. I got a discount and I paid $5,200. Federico initially offered me $3,900 for it, but then came back and said, no, I can't do $3,900. It's not, you know, blah, 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 and offered me like $3,200. And I just said, you know what, fuck it, I'll sell it to him. And I've sold him plenty of watches through just me going, all right, dude, just take it, whatever. And then he puts it on his website for $5,600, $100 more than what it costs at retail, and it's not even a sought-after timepiece. You make your own decision. Sometimes I'll sell it, like I sold like a Omega and I think a Cartier to Watchbox. You know, I don't really, I'm sorry, man, I don't really have like this whole, you know, I'm getting rid of all these watches and I'm selling them to this, you know what I mean? I've sold watches to, or I sold a watch to another guy. I wish I knew his name because that dude's an asshole in Texas and is not one of the YouTubers. Anyway, so I'm sorry, man, I don't do this whole sell thing, you know, if like I don't know, man, I don't know. Sorry, man. I'm getting all, you know. Question for the Magic Watch Ball. Oh, yeah. This comes from David Parrish. I love David Parrish, man. He's a really good guy. If anyone has been watching my channel long enough, he's the one who said he couldn't afford to buy luxury watches because he goes on vacation with his family and his money's tight. He owns a house. And I was like, dude, it's all good, man. You have a great job. And it was just, you know, I respect the hell out of you, man. But this is the question. All right, so Magic Watch Ball. If I win the Mega Millions drawing and literally got $1 billion, what should I do with it when it comes to watches? What would Tony do with that kind of money? Mansion in Hawaii? Love you, man. David. Dude, I love you too, bro. All right, Watch Ball. If he won the Mega Millions drawing and literally got $1 billion, what should he do with it? Take care of your family, buy a couple of watches you want, put the rest in the bank. I don't have much more to say about this. Money's no object to me. Awesome. All right, Dave. All right, dude. Let me answer the second part of that question, okay? What would I do? Buy a mansion in Hawaii? No, I would not. I have lived in a mansion, very beautiful houses. When I was younger, and you know, granted, I could go from being homeless to all of a sudden living in a freaking mansion, right? And then homeless again. It's awesome how life works. I've done all those things when I was young. You know, whether it be the cars or the houses or whatever. And I've lived in some dumps, and a lot of people have commented on my page about the place I live now, but they don't understand how much I love living here. No, if it also depends. If I won $1 million or $1 billion, I'm sorry, $1 million. $1 million is nothing, right? $1 billion, I would not buy a mansion in Hawaii. However, I would probably buy a small house on the north shore of Oahu. I would maybe buy a condo next to the Ala Moana Shopping Center in Honolulu, because then I'd just walk distance to the mall to buy more watches. So, no, I wouldn't spend. Okay, now for you, if you really did, I mean, this is obviously a hypothetical, right? Coming into money. I mean, the first thing what should you do when it comes to watches? As far as everything else, I'm sure you know how to save and manage your money because you from previously your questions, I think you're probably good at that. So I think I know that you would do the right thing and not be a dumbass with that amount of money, because a lot of people that get that kind of money lose it, blow it, and everything because they just don't know how to manage money. They don't have people that know they don't have people that handle the money for them. They don't know how trusts work, things like that. So in your case, what I would do is I would not start off at Patek Philippe and all those beautiful, really high-end luxury watches. If I were you, I would still start on the lower end and enjoy the ride of getting your next piece and getting your next piece. You know what I mean? Too many people go straight to the top and then there's nowhere else to go but down. So what I would do, and I would just, by knowing you, I don't think you're a real extravagant type person, you know what I mean? You're not one to show off things. What I would do is I would probably definitely get a Submariner, Rolex Submariner. That's a staple piece that you should have. You know, get a dress watch. You know, again, I'm partial to Rolex, you know. Get a nice dress watch. Start off with maybe well, let's go a little higher than that. Let's say try a Rolex 1908, you know, but you can't get that, right? That's all right. So that's not on the list. Okay. Start with a Submariner 124060 no date. That's what I would recommend. And then get yourself a Cartier tank for dress. And then for sport, you already have the sub, but get yourself something on a rubber strap, like a Omega Seamaster 300, or even a Zenith Defy, you know, something like that. That's what I would do, man. And then once you start, you know, enjoying those, then kind of move up, you know, go to the GMT, then go to the Daytona, whatever. You know what I mean? So that was a fun question. I like that. Thanks, Dave. This is from Septimiuno Kanu, I don't know, 4088 SE. I'm not even going to spell it, dude. It's too long. I'm sorry. I apologize. No disrespect to your name, man, but it's long. Hello, Tony. I got a question for the Magic Watch Ball regarding the fact, sorry, let me put a period where a period needs to be. Regarding the fact that more and more Rolex watches start to pop up in ADs for sale, I've been watching some YouTubers like the guy from Opus and Time Watches and Paul Thorpe claiming that Rolex ADs are selling, always did, watches through the back door directly to the gray market watch dealers. They are saying that not all ADs are doing this, but about 60% of them are very familiar with this practice. Now the gray market dealers are not really interested to buy any watches. That's why we see them. What is your honest opinion about this? I'm very curious to hear your point of view. Thanks. All right, man. I can't mention for Opus and Time, if he's the guy that I think of, like kind of older guy with a beard, I can't stand that dude. I've only seen a few of his videos, and you know, the watch market is dead as a whore's panties, whatever. I mean, he's trying to come up with his own he thinks he's fucking funny, but he's actually, I don't like the guy, and I don't think he knows what he's talking about. And when he does talk about those things, or how Rolex is dead, he talks about watches that aren't, you know, the hype models or whatever, that where the prices are under retail. He's not saying anything nobody else already fucking knows. He's just trying to make it sound like he does. I discredit anything that guy says. Paul Thorpe, on the other hand, is different. You know, okay, for one, if you're a Rolex AD, you've got to be so careful if you're going to be doing that kind of thing, all right? Because they'll lose their distributorship of Rolex, you know, if they get caught doing something like that. The only way that they could do that, and I'm sure, I'm not saying they don't, is say for instance I am a Rolex AD, okay? Now keep in mind, those watches come from Switzerland and they get to the AD. Those watches still have to be checked into the AD and accounted for. So now they're in the inventory of the AD. They can't just get them off the shipment and start slinging them, you know what I mean? They have to be checked in. They have to be accounted for. The only way they can do this now when they sell it is they have to sell it. Say, for instance, I go in and I'm a flipper, and I have my rep sell me that watch at retail, and I sell it for whatever price to, you know, on the gray market, and then I would have to give a kickback to the dealer. You know what I mean? I can go more in depth with that kind of thing, but here's another thing. At the same time, does it happen? I'm sure it does. I mean, it's not saying it doesn't, but 60%, that's a lot, man. That's a lot. Paul Thorpe would know because he was a gray market dealer, and he still knows all those gray market guys. But the thing is that, the gray market is flooded with watches right now. And they're not all just because of flippers. You know, keep in mind there's such a hype on watches, but you know, everybody became a flipper even when you weren't really a flipper. It's like word got around to even the guys that never sold a watch, going, wait a minute, hey honey, I can get a Daytona and sell it for $10,000 more than what I paid for it. Can I do that? You know, that kind of thing where the guy gets, you know what I mean? It's like, so people were doing that. The AD's doing it. They just have to be very careful the way that they are doing it. That's no different than what still goes on with a lot of other retails that sell watches on the gray market, and you know, or the secondary market and whatever. It's so it's not that the secondary market's not looking to buy watches. They are. It just depends what it is. But at the same time, the flippers have really come down, and a lot of those flippers are out of business now because, for one, the Datejust You try to buy a Datejust unless it's a Wimbledon, and then sell it on the secondary market. You're gonna not make any money on it. They're gonna offer you less than what you paid for it. You know what I mean? So there's only a handful of those watches now that are still holding their value. So I'm not saying Paul Thorpe's wrong. I can tell you that other guy's a fucking idiot, but not Paul. And I've had my issues with Paul in the past, and vice versa. But we're cool now. He said he subscribed to my channel. I don't know if he still does. So Paul, if you're watching this, all right, man, I appreciate your question. I hope I answered it. All right, so Danny in Bay Ridge, dress watch question for you, Tony. Okay, save it for the watch ball if you want. We talked before about a Patek Philippe 6119R, and I still love it. Hand to God, I still love it. Hand to God, I do. But the JLC Master Control Chronograph calendar in pink gold has got me in a headlock lately. Price is about the same. JLC seems to give you more watch, whereas the 6119R is just time in small seconds, but it's a Patek. Any strong preference either way? Yeah, man. I remember you had a question regarding, it was another Patek. It was like an annual calendar, I believe. It might have been a perpetual calendar, I think. And then you didn't have the money for that, but you had the money for the 6119. And I think I gave you my advice on that. JLC, man, they're the watchmaker's watchmaker. You've heard it a million freaking times. JLC are freaking awesome. Me, I'd still go with Patek. Not because I don't like JLC. I don't like all those complications. And for me, I can't see him well, and but it's a beautiful watch. The JLC is absolutely beautiful. Also for you, it depends, man. What do they're so different from each other. You're looking at a watch, that's a calendar, with all the bells and whistles and a moon phase. Does that have the moon? I believe it's got a moon phase. I'll get a picture of it and find it. The Claudie Paris on the 6119 is just so classy. Anyway, that's my opinion. I would stick with Patek, man, and then later on get your Patek that you want to get if you sell that. I think that was where that previous question was going. But either one, man, you're killing it, dude. That's awesome. This one comes from Morgan Waybell. This is kind of he sent me it's like 2 pages really. Hey Tony, big fan of your channel. Thank you. I appreciate it. And your approach to the hobby of watch collecting. Question for your next Q&A. I'm a newer watch enthusiast and even newer to YouTube. Since November, I've accumulated a pretty impressive collection. I never thought I'd be able to get one. One of my biggest regrets so far, however, was buying a Submariner homage that didn't work. When I posted a YouTube video talking about my mistake, it got a ton of negative comments and dislikes. Some people called me dramatic, and others said my video was basically a waste of time. Yeah. And how do I deal with negativity? Dude, yeah, I don't know. I don't know your channel or your video, man. And if you're new, it just might be that sort of Paco jumping up, being green, new to it all, I don't know how you're handling yourself and how you're doing the review. However, regardless of if you were over dramatic or not over dramatic, no matter who you are, you're still, everyone gets negative comments, and some people get sort of direct bullshit. For me, I deal in life with a lot of negativity. So anyone who comments on a YouTube video just kind of flies right off me. I mean, I kind of want to go, fuck you, dude. You know what I mean? I'll take the high ground on some of it and I'll laugh it. You know what I mean? Or I'll come with a witty sort of comeback or whatever. It's not a big deal. You just have to suck it up, man. It's not the best game to get into if you're real sensitive. And I am real sensitive. Paco, stop it. Stop it. Sorry, you guys. It's every time I start a show, Paco decides to do laps and everything. Anyway, yeah, I don't know your channel, bro. I wish you the best of luck, but you just gotta learn to let it slide. You know what I mean? Don't get, a lot of negative people that comment are looking to start a fight. So they're looking to get a reaction out of you, and the best reaction is really no reaction or a pleasant reaction, something they're not expecting. You know what I mean? I've gone down that negative path where I'm like, fuck you too, man. Who the fuck do you think you are? Isn't it past your bedtime? Isn't your mommy calling you for dinner? Or, I'll straight up go there if I have to. I don't like to, but sometimes I do. Anyway, thanks for your question, dude. Best of luck with your channel. The Giz 1964. Great show, Tony. Feel better. Thanks, bro. I'm a Rolex fanboy too, who also buys watches I like from other brands. Recently, I've been getting hooked on the Cartier Santos large white dial with blue bezel. It's available on the Cartier website. People tell me, no way will I get a discount at the Cartier boutique here in New York City. Do you think that that's true, as well as an authorized dealer who sells other brands? Boutique, no, you're not going to get a discount on that. You might get a bottle of champagne, but I don't think you're going to get a discount, dude. Yeah, if they sell other brands and you're in just an AD, they might throw you a 5% discount. That watch is still kind of, it's a nice watch, dude, but it's, you know, that you might get a 5 to 10% discount just depending on how cool they are, you know what I mean? So, best of luck. The last question I got is from 67 New England. This came in just today when I was done, so I actually wrote your question out. 67 New England, why is the OP so hard to get now? Did they start making less due to a past history of being less desirable, and now there's a scarcity? No, dude. They're not making less, and they weren't ever really not desirable. That's part of their bread and butter. You know what I mean? That and the date just. But what happened was, back when it was 2020, when everything started blowing up and going nuts. The colors came out. The red, the coral red, the yellow, the puke yellow, the green, that Tiffany turquoise blue, you know, and then along with the sort of happenstance that Patek Philippe came out with the 5711 blue Tiffany dial, all of a sudden everyone wanted an OP. And OPs became harder to get than like a Submariner, you know what I mean? And so, and now, because everyone wants Rolex now, they still want the OPs. OPs used to be what was called their sort of entry level, and that's kind of what it was, you know what I mean? So, yeah, so it's not anything to do with scarcity. Anyway, I'm sorry, I got distracted because I thought I knew I had another question, so I do have one more question. So yeah, that's just it. They're just, you know, they're hyped. They're not, I don't believe they're making less, unless Rolex are. I don't know anything about that. But thanks for your question, man. This one comes from Federico Caxade. I'm sorry, Caxade. This came from Instagram. Hey Tony, I recently got into watch collecting and bought my first entry-level luxury watch, a Tudor Black Bay Chrono Reverse Panda. First and foremost, on my channel, we do not say entry-level. No, it's derogatory as far as I'm concerned. You bought a Tudor Black Bay. I don't consider that an entry-level watch. I don't consider my Black Bay 54 an entry-level watch either. So I just prefer to say this is what it is and this is what I have. Entry-level just seems like it's like, oh, you're a peasant, you only got the Black Bay 54. Wait till you get the GMT Master, you know. But anyway, I found your channel while doing research on gray market vendors, and I was wondering if you could lend me some advice. I'm looking into getting a Rolex Batgirl just like the one you've got, and I'm on my local AD's waiting list. But I've heard sometimes you may never get the call, so I decided to search the gray market. I found a 2020 Batgirl with box papers from David S.W., and I was quoted $19,000. I know that's almost double MSRP, but my question is, should I get the watch, or would you suggest waiting, potentially getting the call from my own AD? And I guess another option would be to wait and see what happens on the gray market if prices keep falling. Any advice would greatly appreciated. First and foremost, man, you know, there's only so long you can wait on the secondary market and prices going down and whatever. Right now, prices are good. 19K, yeah, I mean, that's what they're going for, I guess, right? Honestly, man, if you just bought, the only thing you bought from your AD is that Panda or that Tudor, you're not going to get the call, you know. If you do, it's luck, you know what I mean? So don't kill me if that happens, you know what I mean? But you know, it's very rare. You have to kind of work your way up. I don't know where you're located, where your AD is or anything like that, but GMTs are like, you know, the near impossible watch to get, you know what I mean? So you've got to start first with like an OP or a Datejust, then a Submariner, and then work your way up. That's generally how it works. I know some people that, oh, I went in there and I bought 17 Pepsis. I had no problem. It just happened. You know, those people that comment that have to say shit like that. And who are you trying to kid, dude? Now, I know that it does happen so where someone will get their watch. So having said that, you know, in your case, you know, if you got the money and you can do it and you're not going to look to flip it, because you're not going to be able to flip it for any more than 19 grand. If you even would get 19 grand for it, you wouldn't. You know, you'd lose money on it if you bought it. But if you're wanting to hang on to it and it's a watch you really want, first and foremost, I recommend you go to your Rolex AD and see if they have any GMT you can check out and try it on and make sure it's something you like and it kind of, you know, it's going to fit well. I mean, you already have the Tudor, which has got a similar bracelet, depending on what bracelet. If you want the Jubilee or the Oyster, I would recommend the Jubilee if you're getting a Batman dude, Batgirl. So I would recommend the Jubilee bracelet. So yeah, buy it on the secondary market, man, because you're gonna be an old man before you get it at your AD, unless things fucking drastically change, dude. So having said that, this video is long. I appreciate everyone's comments, questions, liking, and subscribing. You guys have a great weekend, and I appreciate it. Take care.